what would you say is the best starting point in 2020, in 2021, 2022, moving forward? What's the best starting point for me as a beginning photographer to actually get my career going, especially now that COVID-19 has hit?
Perfect. So I get this question quite often. Just this week, I had somebody go with me to do some street photography who was looking to get started, um, to the point that where he hasn't even purchased his first proper camera yet. He just wanted to go with and see how I approach it. And we had a long chat and discussion about this. And I often get this question. So first off, um, doing things like watching YouTube videos, for instance, it's good if there's a specific technique you want to learn, a specific setting you need to know about on your camera, something like that. But don't think that sitting and watching YouTube videos of other people doing photography is going to necessarily make you a better photographer. So that's the one thing that I get often. People just sit and watch hours of YouTube videos of photographers, well-known photographers, but they're not using their own camera, which I think is mistake number one. So getting out and taking photos, that's the one most important thing. If you're not taking photos, you're not becoming a better photographer. Um, I've heard it said by some of the famous photographers that the first 10,000 images are going to be the worst. And that's true. So you have to get through that first 10,000.
Why is
Um,
that?
the more photo, learning the settings and training your eye to look for things, and learning the camera so that you can react quickly,
Hmm.
um, getting the interpersonal skills as well when you're talking to somebody on the other side of the lens, getting them to relax, getting them to do what you need them to do for a good photo, getting the confidence. I think a big part of being a really good photographer is being confident in your skills and what you can bring to the photo shoot. If you're confident, the results will be better. The model will relax, or whoever the person on the other side will see that confidence, and they'll relax, and they'll in the end you'll get better shots. You also need to know all the settings and things. Um, the technical side of photography, let's say the specs on things like the cameras and the lights and all these other things, are not as important as a lot of people think. They're chasing specs and looking at megapixels and things on cameras, and that's not really as important. You can for the last 5 to 10 years, digital cameras have been good enough to do any professional work. Even 40 to 80-year-old film cameras can still do professional work, and a lot of people still do professional work with film cameras. So there's no real excuse when it comes to equipment. It's more really doing it a lot and being confident in your skills, and just taking more photos, um, and and doing different exercises and testing different things. So coming up with something that you want to test, a setting or a lens, or something that will challenge you, and then going out and making that image. That's more important than most other things, like the technical side of the cameras, um, or things like watching YouTube videos, for instance. So for sure, just actually doing it is the most important thing for me. And coming up with little exercises for yourself also helps. Like, if you think of photography as similar to a sport, I'm not watching YouTube videos on how to run a marathon and then I go out and run a marathon. I need to spend the time on the road running the kilometers to be fit to run a marathon. And it's very much the same. I can look at a few videos and get some good tips, and look at what shoes might fit me better and what to do and how to train. Because if I just endlessly run, that's also probably not going to be a good idea. You need a good focus and plan on how you're going to be training. And I think with photography, it's the same. So if you challenge yourself, if you make sure you regularly shoot, for me, that means at least one day doing street photography in a week. And at least a couple more days where I do at least 1 hour of photography as well. So between one full day and maybe 3 to 8 more hours, just testing different things for myself. And that's excluding customer shoots.